President Biden is guilty of an act of Medicare malpractice that will hurt everyone, some mortally. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. One of the most atrocious laws passed in modern times was contained in President Biden's grossly misnamed Inflation Reduction Act. That particular law permits Washington to impose price controls on a growing number of drugs that are used by Medicare beneficiaries. The names of the first 10 medications targeted for this politically motivated price fixing were recently released. The number is expected to rise to 60 by 2029. Everyone complains about the high cost of certain medications, yet Medicare spending on prescription drugs in recent years has grown less than outlays for hospital and physician services. By forcing lower prices, Biden will throttle crucial pharmaceutical research to develop new medications and improve existing ones. It costs $2 billion and 10 years of testing and clinical trials to bring a new drug to market. Years ago, Europe was a major producer of new pharmaceuticals and medical devices. No longer, as governments expanded socialized systems. The numbers and research tell the tale. In 2018, when the last compilations were made globally, found the U.S. spending $75 billion a year on research and development versus $7 billion for Germany and a paltry $700 million in the U.K. Today, American research and development is running around $100 billion a year, but that number is now declining thanks to what the Biden administration is doing. Biden's law pretends the agency overseeing Medicare will be negotiating with our drug makers on prices. These negotiations are about as real as bargaining with Tony Soprano. The law says manufacturers can, quote, agree voluntarily, end quote, to whatever price the government offers. There are no minimums. And what happens if a drug maker doesn't accept the price? It gets slapped with a confiscatory and escalating excise tax from a 189% to 1,900% of the drug's daily revenues. Major drug maker Merck rightly notes, quote, this is not negotiation. It is tantamount to extortion, and it violates the Constitution, end quote. Merck is right. It is suing, as are some other pharmaceutical manufacturers. Left unchanged, Biden's law will leave little incentive for companies to undertake risky and expensive research if the government can arbitrarily pull the plug on their ability to recover huge outlays and produce the profits needed for future research and development. Drug makers often develop a new medication with a narrow focus and then see if the drug can have wider applications. Price controls will effectively throttle that approach. The way the law is written will perversely hurt the development of biosimilars, which are medicines made in so-called living systems such as yeast, bacteria, or animal cells. Biosimilar drugs have been growing rapidly. Biden says these price controls will save Medicare money that can be used to help fund his climate schemes. Instead, the law will end up hurting, and to be blunt about it, shortening the lives of patients deprived of new life-saving drugs. The courts should throw out this anti-patient monstrosity immediately. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions. I look forward to being with you soon again.